So what we have here is the 1.128C live patch notes for none other than the Dark Age of Camelot. What is that going to entail? Well, we're just going to have to find out right here in this here patch notes web page. From what I understand, there might be some good, there might be some bad. So we're just going to have to read it start to bottom, and we're going to check it out. So off the rip, it says highlights, resist, debuffs, rework, class changes, less popular spec lines adjusted, bug fixes, and other changes. Resist debuffs. Resist debuffs for the below classes have been reworked to now act as a triple resist debuff. This change is to enable more diversity in group makeups. The red 50% debuff, once cast, will now fire secondary debuffs as followed. And then as you see, it has some listed here. So for the cabbie, it looks like instead of just doing spirit, you're doing spirit and body, energy and body, and energy and spirit. So going to change kind of the dynamic on which spells to use against what classes, but having the dual debuff, that kind of is a game changer in a sense, especially, I mean, two is better than one, right? So Spirit Master here is going to get a spirit and body, energy and body, and energy and spirit. Eldritch is going to get a spirit and body, and energy and spirit. Sorcerer is going to get heat matter, and cold heat. Oh man, that might be a good one. Rune Master, heat matter, cold heat, so kind of similar to the sorcerer. And then the enchanter, we got heat matter, and cold heat. So pretty even across all three realms there. For the banshee, it's reverberating screams, going to get a 40% energy spirit debuff. Warlock, 40% cold and heat, and wizard's going to get a cold and matter. Yeah, that cold and heat debuff, oh boy, that might just be the one. All supplemental debuffs will have a 12 seconds duration, not affected by duration modifiers, so you cannot lengthen or shorten these. The following classes changes are also included in this patch. All right, let's get into the good stuff here. So this was a big one. I predominantly play Hibernia, so therefore, Animist is pretty close to the heart for me. And of course, I PvP a lot, so I play a Creeping Animist. And why do I play the Creeping Animist? Because it has an 875 range AoE root snare. And I can literally be in the next state and casting that thing, and I'm still going to snare the whole pit. So as you see here, that has been nerfed down to 1500. Kind of sucks. Was it needed? Maybe so. Got the puppy over here going crazy. Gonna give her a couple pets. Oh yeah, at least the good pets. So that's kind of a big deal. I might have to respec my Annie back to Arb and just power cast those high damage bombs. Armsman, pole arm styles, phalanx, and poleaxe. Snare duration has been increased from 15 seconds to 19 seconds. So that's not bad. Banshee body debuffs have increased as the following: level 38, reverberating shriek from 20 to 30, and level 48 from 30 to 50. The Bone Dancer increased the Delve of Darkness spec line DD damages. So it looks like that was something else I kind of noticed was a theme with this patch was them increasing the damage of these DDs. So as you see, the Bone Dancer gets one here, that final spell going from 189 to 199, so about a 10 increase. Cabalist RR5. Resolute Minion now properly lasts 60 seconds. I don't play a lot of mid, so I guess that was an issue. This is the bread and butter. If you watch my channel, you know that I have a champion. The champion's my main. He's 11L4 right now, and we're on the grind to 12. Looking forward to getting there. But let's check this out. Acuity debuff secondary ability now gives 15% more power back to the group for a total of 25%. So that's an instant 25% power siphon. So that is awesome. And it's a group. So if I got my Eldritch over here, we're in a big fight, he's saying, hey, I'm out of power. I pop that bad boy like, oh, I got you, bro. Here's some power. Take that power, bro. Increased secondary ability of haste debuffs critical hit chance with both spells and styles, now 5%. So what that pretty much means, I believe, is sometimes they get resisted and whatnot. So if they have a critical hit, that means they're going to stick. They're going to hit for the full amount. So that is good. And then this is the cool one. A new HP armor factor group aura has been added to the champion's valor spec. So if you play champion, you know that the one downside is that it typically has less HP than a hero. Does it get a whole bunch of debuffs and is it still just absolutely nasty? Yes. Does it have low HP? Yes. I think even capped out and with all my in-game gear and stuff, my champ's around 3,300 HP. I think I can get it as high as 3,380 I've seen, but for the most part, I'm usually chilling around 3,000, 3,100. That 3,300 is really only coming if I'm with a full group with Bard and Druid and all that good stuff. Moving on, the Druid increased the delve of nature affinity baseline DD. So here we go again with another DD damage increase. So that's going to go from 148 to 179. So that's a pretty nice increase of almost 30, 31 actually. And then the following spell lines have been removed from the Druid nature affinity line. And it looks like the vitality of the oak. So I'm not sure what that one does. If that was a HP add-on, you'll have to let me know down in the comments. I'm just the messenger. Eldritch. Increase the delve of the light spec level 45 DD Shadow Doom from 209 to 219. So there we again, once again, see DD damage increase. Enchanter, Enchantment of Ice in the enchantment spec line has been moved from level 16 to level 33. So that's a pretty big deal, as I know a lot of enchanters had started working that 16 into enchantment to get this. So now being able to have to go to 33 is going to be a bit of a game changer. You're pretty much going to have to decide which spec you want to go if you're going to do enchantment or if you're going to go more light or mana, I believe it is. Lower the power cost of the DD, so that's kind of nice, from 44 power to 29 for that final spell, so that's a pretty big deal. Healers, Mez Dampening has been returned to augmentation spec line as follows, and then you see a 10% increase there from level 16 to level 44, from 10 to 40. Um, don't know too much about that one, but Mez Dampening obviously going to reduce the time that a player is mezzed if you cast that upon him. That's what I understand. Hunter, a new standard shot has been added to the archery line. This shot is not usable in groups, so that's kind of cool. Level 49 standard solo shot fires an arrow at the target for 191 damage. Infiltrator, tranquilizing miasma. Level 46 reuse timer has increased from 1 minute to 2 minutes. Tranquilizing gas level 18 reuse timer increased from 90 seconds to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Minstrel lowered the cast time for Minstrel celerity and range buffs from 3.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Minstrels, it's a tough battle. I don't like to see them getting anything, but to each their own. Necromancer's Spirit Blade turn has been moved from level 15 to level 26 in the Death Servant spec line. The Aegis Pet had its resist moderately reduced. Increase the damage of the Necromancer's Death Servant spec DD as follows, and we're going to see a 20 damage increase on that final spell, that Plague Surge. Lowered the instant snare from Painworking spec line as follows. So that looks like it's going to go down from 90% down to 70. So that's about a 20% decrease. You love to see it, especially as a hit player. Nightshade, if you've been watching my channel, I have a Nightshade. I've actually been getting pretty good on them. I hate to say it, but look for some more montage style videos coming soon from that guy. I'm trying to get him to RR9. That way, my damage is kind of capped out, gives me a little bit more fair shot when I'm fighting all these RR13 Reavers and Minstrels and shit like that. But yeah, can't go wrong there with the Nightshade. Kind of the same as we saw with the Infiltrator. They're pretty much just changing the reuse timer of the Mez poisons. Paladin, increase the range of pulse celerity and pulse armor factor as follows. Celerity will go from 750 to 1500, and the pulse armor factor will go from 500 to 1000. So pretty nice quality of life change there, especially if you're in a group with a paladin. Ranger, new standard shot has been added and standard solo shot. So same thing that we saw for the hunter is going to be applied to the ranger. The Reaver Acuity debuff secondary ability now gives 15% more power back for a group total of 25, so same as the champ. And then the Charge RA training cost has been reduced as follows. Level 1 from 5 points to 3 points, and level 5 from 8 points to 6 points. So that's kind of a big deal because that's going to allow all these high RR Reavers to have even more realm points at their disposal, giving them even more toys. Reavers are a tough fight, man, and oh, yeah, I don't have one. I'm sure if I played one, I'd love it, but always trying to battle them, not very fun. Rune Masters. Lowered the spell range of the AoE root, so much like we saw with the Animus, they had that same 1875 range spell, and that's going to get dropped down to 1500. And then a new critical chance pulse spell has been added to the Darkness spec line as follows. Got the level 45 runic empowerment for 5%. So critical chance pulse that gives you a 5% increase. That's pretty nice, to be honest with you. That's pretty nice. That 5% may not seem like a lot, but in the reality, whenever you're casting and swinging as much as you do, that 5% it comes into play. Scout, same thing as the Hunter and Ranger. They're going to see the addition of that new solo shot. Going to be doing 191 damage, of course, with all your RAs and gear. That's going to be doing, I'm sure, substantially more damage. Shadow Blades, much like the Infiltrator and Nightshade, gonna see the reduction in their Mez Poison. Shaman, increase the Delve of the Cave baseline level 49 DD Ancestors Ruin from 128 to 179. Very cool there. So we're gonna see a almost 50-point increase. Wow, that's quite a big deal. Scald, this is a big one. A lot of people think Scalds are overpowered, me included. But increase the level 47 Confuse spell Disorienting Cry. Chance to confuse from 85% to 100%. What? So I guess it hits perfectly every time. Okay. Scald's Instant DD now gives 15% more power back, so they get that 25% instant power siphon that the champ got. A new range buff has been added to the battle songs as follow. That final one, Gift of Ragnar, giving you 10%. So they're going to have a 10% range buff. That's not cool. Lowered the Scald Heal Song value. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Lowered the Scald Heal Song as follows. That final level going from 84 to 42. So that's quite a big difference. And they removed the HP and armor factor chant. So that's nice. That's actually a big deal. Skull's swordline styles have changed as follows. Looks like they get a 40% snare for 15 seconds, 21% attack reduction, another 40% snare, high damage. You get a 6-second stun at 39. You get a self crit 44, and then at Ragnarok positional back, you get a minus 25 healing effectiveness debuff. And see, like I use the level 50 large weaponry style on my champ, but it just does damage. Like, how can I, like, that's why are they getting damage adds onto their sword styles? Like, I don't really know. But, mid's always been kind of OP'd. We still kill them though. Lowered the spell range of the AoE root, so the sorcerer is also getting its root reduced. Spirit Master, Spirit Warrior Shield Style Mangle has been removed. If that's the one that does the stun, that's a big deal. Because whenever I'm trying to kill Spirit Masters on my champ, oh man, that pet comes up and just slams you and you're locked out for 6 seconds. Meanwhile, the Spirit Master's using Mastery Concentration and life draining you and pops off like 7 spells in a half a second and you're dead. So if that's what that means, that's a pretty big deal. If you know, clarify down in the comments for me. And then the Spirit Warrior's determination has been reduced slightly. So I think determination is just the effect of other AoE and mez and root spells on you, I believe. So I guess they have a built-in one, or like, I don't know if that's, oh, the Spirit Warrior's determination. Okay, so the Spirit Warrior had its shield style mangle removed, and it also um, had some of its magic resistance lowered. So that's pretty nice. Let me let the dog out of the room really quick. All right. Thane. I do have a Thane. It is my one mid character. I'm very proud of him. Played him during Caledonia. His name's Grinch. Be on the lookout for him. Thor's Reach has been removed from Stormcalling. Trying to remember which one Thor's Reach is. I don't know if that is a self buff or if that was the one use lightning spell. I honestly haven't played him in so long I couldn't tell you. A new HP armor factor chant has been added to Stormcalling, and that's going to give you a 6% HP armor factor boost at the final level of level 45. The third, increased cast time of all wind magic spec line air pets from 3 seconds to 3.5 seconds. Yes, thank you, God. If you have played recently, you have seen people spamming the ever-loving hell out of those air pets, and boy, oh boy, does it get annoying because they sit there, they gridlock you, they stun you, they'll cast about 20 pets on you in 5 seconds, and then once you're locked out, they're going to hit you with the dot, they're going to hit you with the life drain, and that's you releasing back to travel. Back to Relic Town, I guess I should say, after that's said and done. Increased Earth Magic Spec Line DD, so they're going to see a 20-point increase on their level 49 DD. Veilwalker increased the back style Foxfire Snare effect duration from 12 seconds to 15 seconds, so that is pretty nice. 15-second snare off the back style. Valkyrie's going to get a charge realm ability training cost reduction, so if you're playing a Valkyrie, you're going to have some more RPs to expend. And then same thing for the vampire. And that looks to be it for the class changes. Let's check out what else is on here. We're almost to the bottom. Bug fixes. Mez poisons now show the correct reuse timers and tooltips. Cloak of the Loyal Mauler now correctly procs Earth Strike at 35%. I don't play a Mauler, so I wasn't aware that there is a bug with the class Cloak. And then the Enchanter's Freezing Enchantment Vest proc no longer reduces the Enchanter's damage. Yeah, that sounds like it would be an issue. And then right here it says Force Respec. So if you play any of the following classes, you're going to have to go respec your character, which can be a hassle. I actually saved all my hotkeys yesterday after I received a tip from a buddy that there was a potential that all of your hotbars and presettings would be wiped. So I saved mine to a nice file. But those force respecs are going to be coming for the Albion players of the Armsman, the Kabbalist, Minstrel, Necromancer, Paladin, Reaver, Scout, Sorcerer, Thurgis, and Wizard. For the Hibernia players, it'll be the Animus, Banshee, Champion, Druid, Eldritch, Enchanter, Ranger, and the Veilwalker. And for the Midgard players, it's going to be the Bone Dancer, the Healer, the Hunter, the Rune Master, Skald, Spirit Master, Thane, and the Warlock. The following classes have been given a forced realm respec, and that is going to be the Reaver, the Vampire, and the Valkyrie, all of which had that charge RP cost reduced. So boys and girls enjoy that free realm respec. That's nice. Item changes. Ghostly Hammer Celerity proc will now coexist with Celerity Potions. Ghostly Hammer's weapon speed has been updated to 4.5. Anvil of Ice weapon speed has been updated to 4.5. And Anvil of Ice is no longer class restricted. So that means all classes will get to use that bad boy now. And then finally, other changes. Doppelgangers should no longer drop Invader Seals. Current seals will once again automatically remove from the inventory upon zoning or relogging. So if you've been playing recently, you might have noticed that you were gaining Invader Seals in your inventory, which I think at one point in time were used to accumulate and get like an end goal, but that has since been phased out. It's not a thing anymore. So I think they don't know how to take out the invader seals being given to you, so instead they've just changed it to where they automatically remove from your inventory after you log or zone. The currency exchange merchant in each capital city now have a fifth store page where you can purchase the platinum ingot item for 100 plat. This item is tradable, vaultable, and can be sold to any vendor for 100 plat. So that's actually a pretty big deal. If you're aware with the in-game currency, typically if you wanted to store some money, the amount of money that you can have on a character is 199 plat. But people found out that you could buy mansion deeds from housing for 25 plat, and you could store the housing deeds on a character or on a few characters to keep your money. That way you can keep making new money if so you're not capped out. But now it looks like this just got even easier because instead of having to take up 4 spots for 100 plat, you just need 1 spot for 100 plat. Go grab that platinum ingot for 100 and you're on your way. So some good, maybe some bad. I guess we'll have to see how it unfolds. Servers are still down at the moment. We're waiting